Have you ever wanted to make a movie on your tabletop? Well, in this episode of Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf, I sit down with Adam to talk all about his game that does just that. This episode is powered by the Character Casket. Multiple accessories all in one kit. It's affordable prices and it's convenient for you. Think of a corpse or a casket for your dice and minis. It's on Kickstarter through Monday, the 15th of April, so definitely go check out the Character Casket and make your role-playing games or just games with dice and minis a lot more interesting. This episode of Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf is proudly being powered by Braden's World, makers of Heroes of History card games. Sam, the game's creator, was on with us a few episodes back, episode 235, Wishlist Wednesday on Saturday, to talk about this game, and after we got our copy, we are really excited to get started. It's the only game on the market where you can have Norse heroes fight American generals in a Minotaur's lair, which I can't wait to try out. The new set of Glorious Greeks and Vicious Vikings is out now. For listeners of the show, you can get a 10% rebate on the game by emailing sam@bradensworld.com. We'll leave the email link in the show notes with a copy of your receipt and he'll get you 10% off. And for the first 10 listeners to leave an Amazon or eBay review, he'll also send you an extra 5% rebate. Visit bradensworld.com and learn more about how you can order Iron Flanks versus Dragon Boat Raiders, as well as the beginner set Midnight Riders versus Echoes of the Plains. Heroes of History. Do you have what it takes to be a hero? This episode is powered by Calakmul. 4 daring jungle dice games in a tin. It is number 2 in a series of exciting skill and luck 2-player games. And a bonus solo adventure, First Reign. It's on Kickstarter through Thursday, the 28th of February. This episode is powered by 9 Lives, a card game about cats, which will be on Kickstarter through Sunday, the 3rd of March. More to come in our Kickstarter Corner. This episode is powered by Heroes and Treasure, Darkness and Light campaign. The popular Heroes and Treasure family RPG expands with new maps, enemies, and treasures. Play it with kids 4 years old and up, even teens. It's a game we'd like to get to the table when we bring back Rolling with the Leaf. It'll be on Kickstarter through Tuesday, March 12th. So, if you want to bring your kids your love of role-playing games, definitely check out Heroes and Treasure Darkness and Light campaign. This episode is powered by 60 Second Chef. Quick to learn, easy to play, and super fun. Plus, it'll help us get veggies in front of our kids on the tabletop. Who said they had to be edible? Want to know more? Listen to our last episode. 60 Second Chef will be on Kickstarter through Friday, the 22nd of March.
Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf, the podcast in which one man strives to level up his geekhood and helping you do the same, one battle at a time. Now, let's get geeky with Gamerleaf.
Have you ever wanted to make a movie on your tabletop? Well, in this episode of Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf, I sit down with Adam to talk all about his game that does just that.
What is this place? What is it doing here in the Leafs computer? Oh, it's Kickstarter Corner with the Leafs.
I'm really excited to get Burnt Island Games' latest in the Hall of the Mountain King. I sat down with Graham a while back ago. Go ahead and find that in your podcast feed and give it a listen. This game has a few things I'd never heard of, including territory denial, cascading production, magic and muscle, and innovative game for 2 to 5 trolls that is easy to learn but hides rich depths. They're over 526% funded. Check out their deluxe edition components back in the Hall of the Mountain King today as it's only on Kickstarter through this Thursday, the 28th of February. So don't dilly-dally. We teased about this at the first of the episode, and notice you haven't been over to check out their campaign yet. So go check out 9 Lives, a card game about cats. It's a card game for cat lovers, cat haters, and cat neutral people. Even dog people will love it too. Even backed by the Leafs. I sat down with Ice, one of the designers, to talk all about it. You can find that interview in their update entitled, "We are nearly 100% funded." But not to worry, they've since reached their funding goal. Check out 9 Lives and some awesome and interesting stretch goals before Sunday the 3rd of March. You'll definitely want to see their latest updates as well. I'm really excited about Sheep Boom Ba. It's a 2 to 4 player tabletop game of moving sheep and playing cards while trying to discover your barn hidden in an active minefield. It sounds like a must-have, especially if you're not opposed to exploding sheep in minefields, which I'm not. So head on over and check out their campaign on Kickstarter, and let's make this game a reality together. They're 3 backers away from 100 and almost 50% away from their goal, with 7 days to go, so get on it. If you weren't convinced, you can go find my interview with the designers and creators of Sheep Boom Ba on their Kickstarter page under the media section. Do you like role-playing games? How about the Fate system? Then go check out Titan Hunt, a Fate-based game about fighting giant monsters in a ruined world. It'll be on Kickstarter through Wednesday the 6th of March. You've heard of Deadlands role-playing game? Well, you're not going to want to miss this in The Big Easy, a Deadlands Noir card game. It's a standalone crime-solving card game for 2 to 4 players set in the worlds of Deadlands Noir. Make sure you don't miss Thursday's show, then as I sit down to talk with Simon all about it. Back it on Kickstarter before Thursday the 7th of March. You've heard of War, but have you ever heard of Duels of Cartosaura? If you've been listening to Getting Geeky with Gamerleaf the last few episodes, you have. But just in case, in Duels of Cartosaura, you are one of 6 warriors from antiquity, fighting a one-on-one battle against other experienced combatants. Each of your skills and special abilities are different, yet the asymmetrical matchup is completely balanced and any fighter can win. It's about you and your ability to discover how to apply the right tactics to the situation by reading your opponent's moves and knowing their special abilities. Some fighters are bold and powerful, others are more defensive and sneaky. Each of the 6 warriors have their own personality. You need to find out which one best fits you. I'm excited to play it, but first we need to get it funded on Kickstarter. So go check out Analog Game Studios' latest and help them bring Duels of Cartosaura to life. Back at before Sunday the 10th of March. It seems like just yesterday that I was playing Incoming Transmission at Game Group while it was either on Kickstarter or before it launched this last time. I loved it then, so imagine to my surprise when I discovered they'd launched an enhancement and it was on Kickstarter as Incoming Transmission Co-op Deduction Board Game plus app. I had to see what all the fuss was about, so I had to have Ian on the show to talk about it. I did just that. If you haven't heard it yet, go give it a listen. You can easily find it by clicking the link in the show notes to their campaign and then going over to the update entitled Week 1 Report Campaign App, now 67% funded. Go give it a listen now. What y'all think? I'm excited for the enhancements too. I hope they can get to the point to get them on iOS, as I'm not an Android guy. Let's go help them get Incoming Transmission Co-op Deduction Board Game plus app funded. Well, actually, it's already funded. Let's help them get to those stretch goals by backing it before tonight at 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's Tuesday, the 26th of February, in case your calendar is broken. Have you ever wanted to let your inner villain out? Well, listen up, then, mortals and gamers alike. In Big Bad Overlord, you get to do just that. It's got a little bit of everything. Big Bad Overlord is a competitive tabletop card and dice game where you use luck and attitude to take over the world. Players assume the roles of evil dukes, each trying to destroy their rivals in order to become, you guessed it, the new Overlord. It's a combat game with card drafting, bluffing, player elimination, and lots of bad puns. Players build their armies, form alliances, betray one another, and fend off the forces of good in the quest to become the greatest villain of them all. This one needs to be backed, so our villages are burned last or not burned at all. Hit the green button on their campaign pages today and become the big bad overlord of your gaming group. Not convinced? Tune in to Saturday's show, or better yet, make sure you're subscribed to Getting Geeky with Game Relief in your favorite podcast catcher, as we're going to be having the one, the only, the biggest, baddest overlord and creator of this game on the podcast himself. You've been warned. Back big bad overlord today. Don't wait past Wednesday, the 27th of March, when it's no longer on Kickstarter, or your village might end up burnt to a crisp.
Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
Lights, camera, action. Welcome to your new job at the most prestigious movie studio in Hollywood. Here you will get the chance to work with talented actors and buy brilliant scripts in order to create your perfect movies. Want to cast an international star in your sci-fi action blockbuster? Perfect. Or would you rather make an award-winning political romance starring a classically trained star and a method actor? The choice is yours. Each year you're expected to make a movie. We'll release it in theaters and you'll make tons of money. And if the movie is good enough, maybe it will make some noise at the prestigious Oscar Awards. Sounds pretty great, right? But wait, there's a catch. The movie business is competitive. If you look at the fine print, we've only got room on our payroll for one director. So only the person who wins the most Oscars by the end of their contract will get to keep their job. The movie industry can be fickle. Sure, we try to give you creative control, but sometimes the studio has to step in. We can help you make more money or make your movie more awards-worthy, but we can't guarantee your coworkers won't use their influence to cause problems. Reshoots, divas, you might even have to cast the producer's nephew. We can't control everything. But enough about all that. We wouldn't have hired you if we didn't think you could roll with the punches. Now let's get out there and make some movies. As they say in the business, that's a wrap.
Did that sound familiar to you guys? It didn't to me neither, but this is a story of That's a Wrap, the Game of Filmmaking Frenzy. And tonight we're lucky enough to have on the creator and mastermind behind this game. Is that correct? Is that how you fall in line with That's a Wrap, Adam?
Yep, I'd say I'm the director, producer, all that.
Thank you very much for joining us on Getting Geeky with Game Relief. We really appreciate it, Adam.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
No problem. We love to have designers and publishers of games on, especially to talk about their games that are on Kickstarter at the time. Now, before we get into that, though, let's rewind a little bit if we could, Adam. How did you get into playing tabletop board games?
I don't know. It all really started in high school. I came into tabletop gaming first. Just one of my friends just decided he wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons and got a bunch of the guys together and taught us all how to play. We had a blast. And then in college is kind of when the big board game boom happened. So my friend who also introduced us to that, he was the one who found all of the modern board games and introduced us all to that kind of thing. So really just something I did with friends a lot in high school, college, and then it kind of just evolved into where it is now.
Awesome. Now you talked to them introducing you to Dungeons and Dragons first. When they introduced you to tabletop board games, do you remember what game they introduced you to first off?
Game that I ever played from that I would consider like a modern board game was Race for the Galaxy. I think that was the first one.
Is that better than Roll for the Galaxy, or what are the differences? Do you know?
I actually have never played Roll for the Galaxy. Just Race.
Oh, okay. I don't remember which one. We have one of them on our shelf. I've never played either of them, but one of them is on our shelf of to be played, I guess. So, per se, somebody hasn't heard of that game. What can you tell us about it?
Race for the Galaxy, you're trying to kind of get the most points by building, settling, colonizing, buying all these planets, and getting resources from them. So it's a tableau builder. You have all these different kinds of planets. You can kind of synergize in different strategies. You can go for tourism or mining or warfare. that kind of thing. It's a very kind of variable game. Each time you play it, you'll go for a different strategy, which is cool, and I appreciate that aspect of it.
Awesome. Now, what are you playing these days, or is that yeah, what are you playing these days, Adam?
A lot of games. I try to, play as many as I can. The one that I'm really, really into right now is Dice Throne Season 2.
Oh man, lucky. We got that, but we have yet to get it to the table as well. You'll find that as a going thing with us. But yeah, I'm excited. We got the all the different. Well, I don't know if we got all of them, but we got a couple of different. What are they? The game mats, and then the big old boxes and stuff.
Oh, it's so good. Yep. I got the big box at PAX South this year, and I got to meet the designer of Dice Throne there too. So that was really cool. Really nice guy.
Oh wow! Well, how is it without any spoilers, or is that a game that comes with spoilers?
Oh no, it's a pretty like standard, 2-player, like the kind of battle Yahtzee is what I say to explain it to people. So really, you're just like choosing heroes and kind of battling it out using dice. So no big spoilers there. It's just a really fun game.
Awesome. Do you have a favorite hero you like to be?
Yeah, I've only played season 2. The hero that I really liked the most, I've only pretty much played everyone at least once, but I really liked the tactician because you kind of can use this I forget exactly what it's called, but you kind of build this resource throughout the game and you can use it for a bunch of different things. So it's fun to kind of strategize with that one.
Oh man, now you made me jealous because I got to get that to the table amongst everything else. Have you built up a big collection yourself since you started tabletop gaming?
Yeah, I probably have about 25 to 30 games, something like that. So it's definitely not as big as a lot of people, but I'm proud of my little collection. It all kind of fits on one small shelf pretty well.
Well, there you go, and that sounds easily manageable. Have you played them all?
Yeah, I think I'm looking at it right now, and I think everything I have. Oh, there's one. I bought Arkham Horror third edition. I have not been able to get that one to the table yet, but I did buy that fairly recently.
Well, there you go. Welcome to the club of games that you have that you haven't been able to play.
Yeah.
The word on the street is you created something and put it up on Kickstarter. What can you tell us about That's a Wrap, the Game of Filmmaking Frenzy?
Yep. So, and that's a wrap. The players take on the role of movie directors. You have been hired by a major movie studio on a 4-year contract. You and 1 to 4 other directors. And the goal is to win the most Oscar awards before the end of your contract. And only that director who wins the most Oscars will get to keep their job, and everyone else gets, fired. So that's kind of what you're going for. Each year you're going to make a movie. You're going to choose the genre, bid on scripts and actors, deal with studio meddling. You're going to release those movies to the theaters to make money, and then each year you get to go to the Oscars, try to win some of those awards, which are basically victory points.
Awesome. It sounds fun. So, per se, me and you sat down to play it. What's my turn going to look like?
So on your turn, the first thing is you're going to kind of reveal a number of script and actor cards based on how many people are playing. And so the scripts and the like actors, for example, are kind of archetypes of actor types. So you can have a child actor, a respected elder, a method actor, an action star, that kind of thing. And then the scripts are kind of, things that movies are about, such as sci-fi, western, talking animals. So you're going to see what's out there. You're going to decide what genre you want to do. That's kind of the first choice you make in each round. And each genre and each script and each actor, they have things that they're better at. So for example, an action movie is going to be really good for making money, but not so good for winning awards. A drama is all awards, no money. Comedy is more balanced, and horror is a ton of money, but it's going to hurt you for awards. So just like that, the scripts and the actors have the same kind of thing. You have some actors who are really talented, but are not going to bring in that much money. Again, same with scripts. So you choose your genre, and everyone chooses at the same time. And after everyone is chosen, there's a bidding process to get one script and 1 or 2 actors, depending on what phase of the game you're at. After everyone kind of has their movie built out, you see some really, really fun combinations there. That's my favorite part of the game, is just seeing the weird kind of movies you can come up with and kind of build a story. But after you have that, there's a studio meddling phase. So the ideas that you come up with can get kind of changed. Your horror movie can be changed to a comedy. It can get shot in black and white. You could have your actor leave in a diva moment, that kind of thing, after the during the studio meddling phase.
And is that a part of, is that like a take that, like, per se, you had a movie set up and I played a card or something on you? Is that where the meddling comes in?
Yeah, exactly. So the studio cards can be cards that are good, or they're cards that you can play on yourself to help your movie, or you can play on someone else to kind of mess with theirs. But if you mess with someone else's movie, you have to pay them one influence token, which is kind of a resource used throughout the game for a bunch of different things. So there's a take that, but it's a bit mitigated because you do have to pay up a little bit for that.
Okay, and then initially you talked about some movies are different things, or actors or genres are better at making money, and some are better at winning awards. You said winning awards is the main purpose, if I recall correctly. But so where's the money come into play? Do you have to buy stuff that will make money, that will make awards, or how's that work?
Yeah, pretty much. So like I said, to get scripts and actors is a bidding process. So in order, to maximize your bidding, it helps to have more money than everyone else. Also, through each round, during the profit phase, so you roll dice to determine how well you do in profit, how much money you make. And the person who gets the highest overall roll plus all modifiers in that phase gets the Audience Choice Award. And at the end of the game, you can also cash in money just for awards. I call that the Lifetime Achievement phase. So there are different ways to kind of win awards throughout the game. You can prioritize money, or prioritize these more artistic films, which are going to win awards kind of the conventional way. But each way kind of gives you a path to victory, which I like that ability to kind of try different things.
Yeah, that sounds really awesome. So when it comes to this, how did you get your inspiration? Do you work in Hollywood as well?
I wish. No. I'm just a big movie fan. I kind of came up with the idea at a time in my life when I started to really get into board games. And also, I was just really into movies, award shows specifically. I was always, looking at the Oscars, trying to predict who would win. And I'm still obsessed with that. I keep a running list of all the movies I see each year. This past year in 2018, I saw 184 movies, I want to say, for the first time. So really, it's just kind of a fusion of two things that I'm super passionate about.
Oh, well, how many times have you been right? Or have you ever guessed the people who win Oscars and stuff?
Yeah, I like to think that I have a decent track record. I think last year I won one of the kind of just informal betting things that I was in. I read a lot of articles and stuff, so I try to be keyed in on what's going on, who's going to win. Although this year I really have no idea. I'm pretty stumped.
You've been pretty busy making that to wrap?
Yeah, and it's just kind of a weird year for movies as far as the awards go, at least.
Oh, boy. Wow, that's weird. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, maybe it's like picking a child. I don't know. But do you have a favorite movie?
Yeah. I mean, it's always hard and it always changes. But right now, I would say my favorite movie is Amadeus, which is from, I want to say, the 1980s. It won Best Picture. It's about the composer Amadeus and his professional rival Salieri, who is very jealous of his abilities, but also angry because Mozart is a very kind of childish person, and this Salieri is very professional. So he's like, why is this childish, boorish guy so talented? And I'm just not that musically talented, but I want it so bad. It's a very like rival kind of passion and art thing, and just the whole movie looks very beautiful as well.
Well, that's good. Is it going to win an award, do you think?
Oh, I mean, it won Best Picture back in the 80s.
Oh, okay. So it's not one of these newfangled things they have. Okay, that's good.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Like you said, that's a hard question. I really love the Back to the Future movies. Did they ever win anything?
Yeah. I think for some, effects type things, but those are definitely great movies.
Yeah, what do we think about remakes of movies? Like a lot of times it seems like they're remaking a bunch of stuff these days.
I do actually have in That's a Wrap, there is a remake script card. It gives you 5 money, which is the highest you can get, and 2 for the Oskies. Or maybe it's 3. It's either 2 or 3, but it is very like high money and kind of medium for awards, which I think kind of fits with remakes these days. They're mostly made to make a lot of money, and they do.
Well, there you go. You got to make money somehow, I guess. Now, during play testing of That's a Wrap, was there anything you had to scrap because it just wouldn't work for the game?
Oh, I mean, probably hundreds of things. I was actually going over the earliest edition of the rules right before I launched my Kickstarter, just kind of as a nostalgia trip. And there are certain things I kind of mentioned. Influence is this currency within the game. You can use it to increase the profitability of your movie, try to win Best Director. It used to be something that was unlimited, and people could just like spend it and spend it and spend it all that they wanted. But it would always come back to them at the end of the round. So people would end up with like 20, 30 influence that they could just use to like automatically win. It was this whole like snowball effect. So if you ended up winning on a really good movie in the first round, there was no stopping you. And I don't know how I ever even got that into the initial playtesting. It was so broken, but that was definitely something I remember scrapping. Oh, that, and the game was 8 rounds long, and I've cut it down to half that because the games were in the beginning just so ridiculously long.
Did any of that come from the unlimited thing that you cut or not?
Yeah, that was definitely a part of it. I mean, really just the beginning of it. I look back and it's just 100% you're even more completely different game.
Oh, okay. Awesome. That's good you were able to fix that and make it not so long, I guess. When it comes to That's a Wrap, what would you say you're most proud of?
I think the thing that I like the most about That's a Wrap is just that the art is just fantastic, and huge props to my artist who I've really, really enjoyed working with throughout this entire process. She is able to really read my mind on like all of these cards, and she's interpreted them all so well and created these really, really great images. All the actors are super diverse, and just throughout the cards you see a lot of diversity. The colors just are super bright and they pop. And one thing we really tried to do, and you see this in a lot of games that are about movies, you see a lot of things that have parodies. They'll directly reference a movie that already exists, and that's fine, but I wanted to go in a really different direction with That's a Wrap. I wanted to, when you see an actor card, it's not related to a specific actor in real life. It's just kind of a character that we made up for this game, so it makes the whole game more, you can play it over and over, and each time is going to be super different. You're not locked into kind of like thinking of this very specific movie because you have this already actor idea in place or this movie idea in place. You get these really crazy original movies, and that's the most fun part of the game for sure, is just coming up with the movie ideas. And I've just had so many throughout the playtesting of the game.
Cool. What's been the most crazy movie style or type that you've seen while playtesting and promoing, demoing it?
So I'll explain a little backstory on this one. So I have a really good friend of mine who was moving to Los Angeles a few years ago to kind of make it in the movie industry. So that was really cool. He's a very talented cinematographer. So before he left, I wanted to shoot a kind of a movie thing, something to be marketing, for the game, and just to like shoot a fun movie with us and all of our friends. So I thought we could make some fake trailers based on movies we make, while playing the game. So we got together, we played through a demo of the game, and I was like, keep an eye out for any fun movie combinations we come up with that we could potentially film. And one of my friends, he he throws down a horror movie starring a former athlete, and he says, okay, this movie is about Lance Armstrong, but he's capturing other bikers and stealing their blood to stay good at biking. And he said it's called The Cyclist. And we all just lost it, and we are like, write that down. And we need to shoot that. And so he shot this like really awesome, hilarious, very honestly well done trailer. And that is actually, it's on our Kickstarter page right now. If you, all the listeners want to see that, it's very cool. We had a blast making it, and that is probably one of the most memorable movies that I've made in the game. Also, just because of that story.
Oh, good. I was going to ask if I could find that somewhere, but you said it's on the Kickstarter page somewhere?
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll have to go ahead and watch that and see. And it looks like people have the option, if they wanted to have a trailer made as well, that's one of the pledge options. Am I right?
Yes, yeah. That's just kind of one of those really crazy high-level pledge options that you don't really expect anyone to back at, but I think it shows a little character and, some fun.
Well, there we go. So if anybody's interested in that, that's something they can go ahead and do as well. But yeah, so that just like you said, looking at the art and stuff, the game looks amazing. Would you say you're the reigning champion, or who's the reigning champion?
Definitely not me. I'd say the person, I can only think of one person who has a 100% win rate, and that is my good friend's wife. They have been very helpful in just like playtesting game throughout all these different iterations, but she always wins every time we play it. And I think it's because he's a little afraid to play cards on her, but
Now, when it comes to That's a Wrap, the Game of Filmmaking Frenzy, what makes your game pop or stand out as one my audience should go check out and then back if they like what they see?
I think I kind of mentioned I think the art is just a really, fantastic piece to add to any gaming collection, and it's really good fun for movie fans in general. I think it's a great game that kind of bridges the gap between a lot of movie games are just strictly party games, with not a lot of strategy involved. It's just kind of like pitching script ideas, kind of like a Cards Against Humanity style thing, or they're super heavy complicated Euro games. I wanted something that kind of was in that middle where you're still having fun making movie ideas, and there's a little bit of strategy involved as well. There's some dice rolling, some kind of, like I said, take that, a little bit of resource management, but it's not so intimidating that it takes away the fun of making movies. It tries to stay really true to the theme. So if you are a big fan of movies, I think this game is something that you will really enjoy.
Yeah, definitely. And go ahead and check out the campaign that's running currently. We'll leave all the links in the show notes so they can more easily find it. And it looks like it's running through the 21st of March. Am I right?
Yep.
Awesome. And so you don't overpromise and underdeliver, if they go ahead and back it, when would they anticipate getting the game so they can try to become the director with the most awards?
So after the campaign is over, I'm budgeting for me and my artist about 3 or 4 months of just getting everything in order, art finalized and everything like that. And then the timeline after that, as far as production, I anticipate around near the end of the year of 2019, assuming everything continues to go as planned. But we have done all of our homework. We have established all of our communications with logistics, manufacturing, things like that. So, we've done all that we can so far, and we anticipate end of the year is a good benchmark for that.
Awesome. And it looks like if they're based here in the U.S., they'll get free shipping. Am I right?
Yep. Fair price of $29 and free shipping.
Well, there you go. There you have it. So that's awesome. What's shipping run for the other countries? Or will they pay that at the end after?
So we're charging $10 shipping for backers in the EU, Canada, Australia, and China, just due to the nature of the logistics company we're going with. We're not currently offering shipping to other countries during the campaign, though we do welcome all other backers, if they're interested, to reach out, and we'll try to work out a solution.
Well, there you go. There you have it. So that's awesome. Now, we don't want to keep you all night, so just a couple more quick questions for you. Minus coming there to your hometown to stalk you, how would people go about keeping up with you and what you have going on with this and possibly future projects?
So you can find us on social media. We have And Instagram and Twitter, those are under the company name, which is Diacritical Games. So DIA Critical Games. You can find us on both of those. There's a Facebook page for That's a Wrap, which is just look up That's a Wrap board game. And yeah, back on the Kickstarter, we'll get updates through there. You can also go to www.that'sarapgame.com, sign up for the email list as well.
Awesome. And speaking of what's in the future, I know right now we're focused on getting That's a Wrap, the Game of Filmmaking Frenzy, fulfilled or whatnot, like reaching that goal, the funding goal, as well as going for stretch goals. But is there anything in your back pocket that maybe you can share spoilers with us on what you might be doing next?
Yeah, I have a bunch of game ideas that are kind of in a Word doc in my computer, but I think the next one I want to work on is would be a bit smaller. It's a social kind of deduction game set on the set of a horror movie where one of you is a cast member who is also a murderer, and basically you're trying to figure out who's the bad guy based on kind of who's holding the murder weapon, and there's also just actions you can take to kind of confuse the situation. So I'm kind of still working that one out. I'd like to start playtesting that sometime soon, but things are pretty crazy just setting with That's a Wrap up.
Oh boy, well yeah, so I'm intrigued. So everybody listening, go ahead and make sure you run on over to the Kickstarter page for That's a Wrap, the Game of Filmmaking Frenzy, so we can see that successfully funded and reaching stretch goals before the 21st of March, so he can start working on his social deduction horror film based game, it sounds like.
Yep, you can tell I'm a big movie guy.
There you go. Yeah, is it going to be based on like the B horror films or whatever what do they call those? Like
just like even like a slasher kind of thing, or
oh, there you go. Awesome. It sounds pretty cool. So that's awesome. Yeah. So like I said before, we don't want to keep you all night, but we really appreciate you coming on Getting Geeky with Gamer Leap with us to talk all about That's a Wrap, the Game of Filmmaking Frenzy, Adam.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I had a really good time.
No problem. Me too. I really enjoyed sitting down with Adam to talk all about That's a Wrap. I really am excited about this game. Sounds like one with a lot of replayability. Plus, you get to make movies. What could be more fun? So, if you liked this game or any of the other games that I talked about during Kickstarter Corner or any of that, make sure you go check them out. Click the links in our show notes to show us a little bit of support as well as them. And if you want to show us a little bit more support, go check out our Kickstarter campaign. If you're a listener and you want some listener exclusive ways to back, there's some options that will be open for the rest of the Kickstarter, but there's also some that are closing down at 12 noon today, Mountain Standard Time. So I'd hurry on over there and check it out. If you're a publisher, there's a couple more options open for you as well. So go check us out on Kickstarter as well. And I guess we'll catch you guys in our next episode. Until then, go ahead and get geeky, stay geeky, and bring others into Geekfold, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Gamer Leaf out.
Gamer Leaf levels up. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.